Louxin Zhang from NUS Department of Mathematics, and he's going to introduce this title. I cannot say the word, so maybe let the speaker to introduce his topic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, the chair and organizing committee, for inviting me here to give a talk. Thank you to attend my talk. Today I will talk about the first algorithm for fusing phylogenetic trees into phylogenetic networks. First of all, I would like to give some background. Tree topology has been used to model the evolution for over 250 years ago. In fact, the Darwin using these trees to develop his evolution theory. Okay, so basically it's a binary tree in graph theory. Okay, but recent genomic study indicate the tree model is not powerful enough because the genomic study indicate so the reticulate evolution event like the hybridization, introgression, the recombination play important role during the evolution of genome. Okay, so therefore here is a network model for the gene flow in the bright wheat. Okay, this is the wheat we eat. For the okay, so this is another network model to describe the gene flow in the cow disease. Actually, this is, as you can see, this is a work done by a group of researchers in China. Okay, so this is another network model. So used to study the evolution of the Indo-European languages. Okay, you talk about language is very common. One language borrows some word from another language. Okay, so therefore, it's not involved only vertically, also horizontally. You can borrow something from another language. Okay, formally, that this is a tree model, then this is a network model. The only difference is in network model, there are this kind of reticulation node, which have two or more parents, as one child. This node represents the reticulate evolution event. Okay, so okay, mathematically, there is evolution is a reverse of the clustering process. So basically this is a hierarchical next state clustering of the species of genomes, genes. But this one is more general. It's a hierarchical overlapping clustering. That's because of this reticulation node, that this one corresponds to this cluster, then this one corresponds to this cluster. They have a common species. Okay. So there are two approaches to infer these phylogenetic network models. The first approach is infer the network model directly from the sequence similarity, typically using a stochastic model of evolution. Okay, So their maximal likelihood method, their Bayesian method. But these methods are usually very slow or practical only for a few number of species. You cannot apply to study, say, bacterial virus. There are over 100,000 species of the genome involved. The second approach is you infer the trace from the genes. First, they combine these trees into a network model. But this approach is promising as there are well-established tools for infer the trees. Okay. In general, the network inference is hard because there are a very large number of phylogenetic networks. Okay. I will show the number later. So therefore, when one works on this network inference, one usually either assemble the networks from the network space or solve an optimization problem to obtain a solution. Okay. I studied this problem by taking a second approach. So basically, I work on the algorithm for this tree fusion problem, also called hybridization problems. So you have a set of genes, a set of gene trees, on set of species, or x1, x2, xk. So these species site are not necessarily same. So the solution is you phylogenetic networks on this the union of the xi that display all the trees with the smallest number of reticulation event. By displaying a tree, I mean this. So basically, you can obtain a tree by deleting some edges from the network. They contract redundant node. See, for example, you may contract the degree 2 node. There are also some redundant node. But this problem also NP hard problem. So there's no good mathematical characterization. Okay, so so today, so I will talk about algorithm developed by us recently. Okay, so in the first part, I will show some numbers about the size of phylogenetic networks. Then in the second part, I will show the over algorithm for the tree fusion problem. So basically, when we study these phylogenetic trees and networks, usually we focus on the binary phylogenetic networks. So then here is this example. You see every reticulation node has a 2 parent, 1 child. Every tree node, this one have a 1 parent, 2 children. Okay, so the counting problem is this: how many binary networks with k reticulations are there in species? In species, so this network, so there are 6 species, 6 leaves. There's 3 reticulations. Okay, so these are 3. So here is the numbers for small k, small n. So the numbers in the first row are the number of binary phylogenetic trees. There are no reticulation node there. So you will see this number grow quickly, but not too fast. But you see, with their reticulation node, this number become huge. Okay, so over a asymptotic analysis suggests, the size of the network space grows by a factor of n squared, where the k increased by 1. See, for example, you see if there's 10 species, roughly, when you go from this number to this, there are 100 times more for each for the next row. So here you see this is about 34 million. So this one, is 4.6 billion, something like this. You see, this is a very big number. Okay, so because of there's so many number of phylogenetic networks, so when we study the algorithm issues of phylogenetic networks, so we define some subclasses of networks. Okay, so this in particular, this class is very interesting. Let's see this. The definition is this: a network is a tree child if every node-leaf node has at least one child that's not a reticulation node. So this is a tree child network. This is a local property. It's easy to verify. Equivalently, so this also implies every node is connected to at least one leaf without passing through any reticulation node. See, for example, if we start from we can reach this leaf from this through this path. Then we can from this node reach this one, avoid this. So this is the properties. This one is not, as you can see, this one you cannot reach any leaf. You cannot go this way, you cannot go this way, cannot. So this is a non-tree child networks. This is another case. Okay. So this is a tree child network. So we remove the reticulation edges. The edges going into this reticulation node. So this network is split into 4 subtrees. Okay, this is one, this is one, this is one, this is one. Okay. So the important property is this. So in this subtree, the leaves are the original leaves of this network. This is only true for the tree child networks. So therefore, you see tree child networks has a simple structure. You see, you have some tree component, you just stack them together. So you here, this is a tree component. You just insert the 2 parent of this node into 1 or 2 component above. So okay, then you can see this is the count of the tree child networks. So the numbers are smaller now. It's a very interesting. We have this conjecture. So this conjecture is looks very straightforward. So this is a number for this. This is n is 7, k is 4. They just you can use these 2 numbers to compute this number. Okay, so it's very interesting. A little bit tricky. It's hard to prove. I try sometimes. Okay. Anyway, so therefore, studying this counting enumeration of phylogenetic networks lead to over solution for the tree fusion problems. Okay, remember, so the tree fusion problem is this. You have several trees, you build a smallest network displays all the trees. Okay. So this is our approach. So what we do is we focus on the symbol networks. So we infer the tree child networks. How to do this is to transfer tree fusion to a problem of fusion sequences through a novel vector representation of trees and networks. Precisely, so we transform the tree fusion to this algorithm problem. It's well defined in computer science, theoretical computer science. So you have k sequences over alphabet A. You try to find the shortest string S from which you can obtain Si by deleting some characters. Okay, in other words, we call each given sequence is a subsequence of S. Okay. So this is an example. So this is all the 6 3-character permutation strings on ABC. This is a solution. You can see this is how you obtain ACB from here. Okay, you can obtain the ABC here. So this is a solution. Okay, so so now let's explain some details. So we work on these tree child networks. So this is an important property. Remember, every node is connected to at least one leaf without passing through any reticular node. By focus on this class of networks, we avoid these complicated models. Okay, and this one is also tree child. In fact, there's a program called tree mix in studying the population genetics. That program always output to the tree child networks. Okay, so this is how we transfer the tree fusion into a SCCS problem. To do this, we need the ordering of taxa. So this is important. Here we consider the alphabetical order. Then from here, then we can decompose this tree into a disjoint process. What we do is very simple. So here this is the first character. We move from this label up until we reach root. This is the first pass. Then we consider B. They move from the B up. Eventually, this will intersect the first pass. Whenever we touch this first pass, we stop. And this is a second pass. And so on and so forth. We have this third one, the fourth one, fifth one. So therefore, you will see we have 5 passes. So each pass starts at a unique internal node. So therefore, we can use this add labels to label the internal node. For example, A's come from this one. The E's come from this one. So C's come from this one. So we use the label of the end to label the starting node. So from this, then we can encode the path with string. For example, this one we read. So this is ACBA. So therefore, we encode this into a string. Okay. So reversely, we have these passes. We have the labels in the start point. So we use the label information to glue all the passes together. We get the original tree. So therefore, this presentation is unique, giving the ordering. Okay. So therefore, this is what we obtain. So giving any ordering, you have a tree, you can obtain a unique sequence vector representation. So this is another example. You get these sequences. They each sequence correspond to a path. Then we connect the paths together. We get the original tree. Okay, the connecting is quite simple. So this is a E node in the middle. That this is a E head. So we just connect this one to this. Okay. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, the sequence vector representation also exists for tree child network, but this is not for all ordering. So it's for some ordering. Okay, but if it exists, then this is feasible. In other, we can recover the network from these sequences. Okay, so this is because the child tree network have these properties. Okay. We can build the path just like in tree case. The only different things we cannot label these, but we label these using the label for this. Okay, one component by one component. Okay, so now we also have this theoretical result. So basically, we assume we have an ordering on the X, on which the SV representation exists for the network. If a tree is displayed in the network, only if for every taxa, the sequence obtained in the network is a supersequence of the corresponding sequence obtained in the tree under the ordering pi. Remember, for each species, we call taxa, we obtain a sequence. So therefore, this is most important. We can also prove this where the N is the smallest tree child network that displays the K trees, if only if for every taxa, the sequence obtained in the network is the shortest common supersequence of the corresponding sequences obtained in all the trees under the pi. Okay, this is the only theorem so we need. So from there, so we can build the network. We solve the tree fusion problem using this algorithm. The step one is for every possible ordering, then we find the sequences under this ordering. For each xi, each tree, then we compute the sequences of xi. So then basically for each species xi, so we get this sequence from tree 1, this sequence from tree 2, this from tree k. Then we compute SCS, SI for these k sequences. They use these SCSs, then we can build the tree child network. Okay, then we just keep the smallest one. So this is an example. There are two trees. We get the sequences from the left tree. We get sequence from right tree. They compute these SCSs. Say this is AEBA, AECBA. So this is AECBA. So on and so forth. Then here we build the network same way. So, but the thing is, you see here. Say for example, this E appear in two paths, in the middle of two paths. So therefore, when we connect the E to this E, there are multiple edges in this node. So this is our reticulation node. Okay. Then from there, so then we can develop the faster tree fusion algorithm. So there are two problems here. So first of all, there are so many ordering permutations here. Okay. The second issue is this is now cheap. Compute SCS for site of sequences is not cheap. So for this one, we can use assembly or the reinforcement learning for this part. In our work, I use assembly. So therefore, we will consider reinforcement learning. So we also use the evolutionary algorithm for this. For this one, remember this, the SCS problem is a special case of multiple sequence alignment problem. So therefore, this one, we demonstrate, we test our approach. We indicate the Needleman-Wunsch progressive method is good enough. It's very accurate. Okay. So therefore, this is a heuristic method. This is just sampling kind of. We just take some permutation for consideration. Okay. So therefore, this is the some validation experiment. In our first paper, we compare to the two other programs. So we generate the random tree data set using some simulation programs. Okay, so this. So you see this for so that we have three types of data set: the small one, medium one, the large ones. For this small data set, so our approach has no advantage. You see, not faster than others, right? But you see when the data size become the larger and larger, so our algorithms run fast. Okay, for the middle size of this data set, you see we can run this, but the only this program run for some cases. Okay. For the large data set, this is the time our program use. Okay, we cannot run the other two programs on this kind of data set. 70 trees and then this is 80 trees. Okay, this is another work. We compare the quality of the solution with a tree night. This is this paper. There also another new one. So this is based on machine learning approach, deep learning stuff. Okay. So therefore, so our program is available as a part of a split tree app on the GitHub. So basically, split tree package is quite popular for the phylogenetic analysis. Okay, recently the developers have a new version. So basically, you can run the split tree programs on laptop, on the notepad, also can run on your mobile phone. This one. Okay, so it's quite convenient, the package. Okay, so therefore this is the some network inferred from the real biological data. So this is we have, so there were 15 chloroplast genes in the water lily grass. So basically, we infer this kind of network models. Okay, but this one, is for the 43 chloroplast trees. So there you see this is more complex than this. Okay. Okay, I think I should stop here. So basically, these phylogenetic trees and networks are important for evolution study. Okay, so this structure has many applications in study the evolution of species, the biodiversity of ecology research, and also mapping the human migration patterns. Also study the transmission dynamics of infectious disease like COVID. Okay. So basically, our work on this problem is application of dimensional reduction in design fast approach for tree comparison, also for inference network models. Remember, so this is you consider this is a fusion problem for one dimension data sequence one dimension. But tree is high dimension structure. So most important, we remember, so we develop a sequence vector representation of trees and networks. This is probably useful for design the deep learning method for inference phylogenetic networks. This is something I want to do in the near future. Okay, here is some problems for mathematicians. So in the counting, remember this is still a conjecture. This is difficult in the size because this is now in integer. This part is now integer. So therefore, you cannot use some say elementary method like by induction. Doesn't work. Okay, I try for some times. It's not too easy. Okay. This one is another problem. It's related to the overall study, but this one is also has been studied in combinatorics for some time. So basically, you try to determine the length of shortest common supersequences for all the k-letter permutations. The permutation I means each character only appear once. It's just like it's a permutation. So this the length is k square plus something minus something. I think it's probably k square minus some constant times log n, something like that, right? This is also a new, it's a open problem. Also, if you study statistics, application of statistics, you can study the statistics of the random phylogenetic networks. For example, you can answer what is the average length of the path from the root to the leaf, something like this. And also, yeah, I think that's all. So thanks.
Yes, thank you for such a nice talk. Any questions?
Yeah, by the way, this is the people I would like to thank. So the students, the collaborators involved in this work.
Thank you. That was very interesting, Louxin. Can you, you're comparing against some other methods, one for speed, but also to show the correlations. Would you comment on the accuracy and like how do you measure that you're getting the right answers?
It's very difficult to evaluate the accuracy if you're using the simulation. So you simulate the evolution process, involve the mutation, also the gene, so the reconciliation coalescence process. There also this the gene flows among these. Then we go and then we infer this. So by the mutation rate, also the reticulation event, the rate of the reticulation event is high. It's very difficult to do that. So it's currently there are no method doing well. So this is what I observed. So yeah, it's a quite difficult problem.
Yes, it is. Oh.
Thank you. I'm interested in the number of trees you want to fuse. How do you get that number?
For the small cases, we have a formula.
No. I mean, in practice, how many trees do you want to fuse?
Oh, this depends on how you what kind of studies you talk about. If you study the animal evolution, that's quite maybe small numbers. You just focus on the interesting genes. So then you can focus on small number of species. Okay, so that means the trees are not large. Also, you can use a small number of trees. That's so far the people are doing this in population genetic study. Okay, but if you work on the bacterial evolution, they also study the viruses. They can involve solid the symbols. So that's difficult.
So you mentioned that the tree fusion problem is NP hard.
Yeah.
Is that for general number of trees, or just even using 2 trees are NP hard?
Even for 2 trees, I think.
Even for 2 trees
Yeah.
of arbitrary size, it is NP hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in other words, basically your 2 trees are not useful. The network display these 2 trees can be big. Can contain a number of reticulation nodes if the trees are not similar.
Okay.
So therefore, even for 2 trees, the problem is still hard.
So in the previous slide,
Which one?
just one slide back.
This
Yes,
one?
this tree fusion node. I think the one before this.
Okay.
No, just
sorry.
the second to last.
Oh, okay. This one?
Next. This one.
Yeah.
So you're actually reducing the tree fusion problem for tree child network.
Yeah.
To the SES problem.
Right.
So do you know if tree fusion problem
for
tree
general
child network, if it's NP hard?
It's all the NP hard. Yeah.
Even for 2 trees?
Yeah, even for 2 trees. Yeah. But the solution can be different. You find the best tree, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. For all possible order, you see that the sampling and the report learning can be used.
Yeah.
Can you give us more information about this?
Oh, yeah. So there's what I do is, I observe, there's you have an ordering, right? Normally, the sequence you get for the first few characters are long. To get a good quality solution, you have to focus on these first few characters. What I mean is this, and still we have time, so I can show you. See, for example, normally this is important. The one we obtain for the first few ones. These are longer. So therefore, we have to focus on these few symbols. So therefore, what I use for the sampling, so basically, I determine which one is best for as the first one. Then after we fix the first one, then try some permutations that determine the second one, so on and so forth.
If there are too many orders,
Yeah.
which method is best? Is good.
This is a good question. So we use assembling, right? Another paper, they actually use a kind of reinforcement, the learning kind of stuff. So we can beat them, and they can also beat it for many cases. I think their methods are quite interesting, but I now figure out why they are good. So it's quite interesting that. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks. Any more questions? We are last one.
If the algorithm can fuse the trees, so it can fuse the network directly.
Yeah, this is another theoretical problem. You just build a networks over networks. Yeah, the theoretical problem. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a good question for the TCS student. Yeah, I never try. So thanks for this comment.
Thanks. Yeah, let's thanks again for speakers.
Thank you.
Thanks.